Hello, good people. Emmanuel Science Safari bring you the Promise Insurance Show. I want to talk about what we call enterprise comprehensive insurance for business owners. But before going there, I just wanted us to go through this video briefly from the chairman Kacita and his reasons to why we need to have social capital and also insurance for us to remain resilient. Of course, it's mostly in Uganda, but I'll also translate whatever it is in English. Let's listen in and then I'll share more. Another thing that I want to discuss is why people fear that insurance is not an allowable tax expense, yet it can actually be an allowable tax expense. So we shall also go through that briefly. But let's go very quickly into this video and then we shall brainstorm at the end of it.
Very first step, nze jenali tutte ya kutunulira around my social capital compound. I have built a very good social network. Nti okujja kwa business yange, God forbid, okutomera kwe motoka zange ne zisanawo, God forbid, nga nsigaze mikwano gyenzimbi for over the years, I can never be poor. Nolwekyo nga byonna bisaanyeewo mu mwezi ogusooka, kyensooka okukola kutegeeza bannange ekinguddeko, era ne mbategeeza nti tekiguddeeko nga nkitegese nsobola okukola. Abantu mu Uganda wano bakwewunyisa nti abagagga balina ebibiina nga kwagalana, tuli bumu, tukole bukozi, socially and economically okubayamba, ate abateesobola tweroga bwerozi mu butale. Bw'obanga kirumira ne banne balina ekibiina kyakwagalana nti bw'aba n'omwana n'afumbirwa, omwana n'akola graduation, omwana oba kufiirwa, bwe babala budget nti ya million 5 basobola omuwa million 8 n'aba ate ng'eya benefit nze mu mbaga y'omwana. Kakati mwe abatasobola mulinawo network kyebayamba singa kiggwako. It's very dangerous obutamanya value of unity. Kati nze nga nze omuntu kyombuuzizza bintabuseeko, business eweddewo, God forbid, kati ate nze awo sisobola kigwamu kino kubanga ndi insurance. I'm insuring most of my businesses kubanga ndi musomesa wa insurance. Manyi omugaso gwa insurance kunziza mu kifo kye nabaddemu ng'akabenje tekannagwa. Naye majority bannayuganda ate ku insurance kiri waasi ne ku saving. Bwe tuba ku insurance, ku saving tuli ku 8, ku insurance tuli ku less than 3. Kitegeeza abasinga obungi mu insurance tebaliiyo. Eyo step ey'okubiri yakubira insurance company yange. Mikwano ngitegeezezza, sisobola kusula njala, sisobola nakubula we naasula. Ongambye omwezi gumu insurance gibuulidde tejja kukola assessment ey'ebyanguddeko kusukka mwezi kubanga zo kati ziri mu competition. Insurance gye nninamu indemnity ejja kakasa bukakasa nti efuba okozesa nze enspe nzirewo nkole byenjagala, ate nkozese n'okutegeeza abalala nti Ssekitto twamuwadde kati nammwe mujje tujja bbawanga mufuna obuzibu. Bwe guba mwezi gumu bwe mala okutegeeza mikwano gyange ekiddako okukubira insurance company ne bamaneja bange mu facilities enjawulo ne mugamba kebe emmotoka nga yeesaanyeewo tebaakandipulesingiremu kubanga nina cap transport company aka self drive. N'olwekyo kati kiba kitegeeza nti ebeefunyeeko obuzibu waliwo gye baavuga ne batwala n'okutuusa kati simanyi gye yalaga, naye mu weeks 2 baali bamaze okunzirizaamu empya. Olw'ensonga ekyo nakimanya nti kisoboka. Naye for an unlikely event nga gwe si kyolimu, sooka onoonye okuzimba social capital, people around you. Bw'owulira otya nga bannamawulire oli munnamawulire, bakoze association oba investment club, n'otogendayo nakuwuliriza kubanga bantu abekuŋŋaana babba nnyo ng'ani gwe batabba.
So Issa Ssekitto has made a very good point. He has mentioned how many people don't want to unite, but they easily go for witchcraft, yet instead of uniting and they help each other. But also they don't take on insurance. In Uganda, if he has talked about if saving and banking people, the population is maybe at 80% or 8%. At insurance, we are only performing at about 3% because maybe the population has not understood it. And also there's a bias. Actually, I think that the place I can start from is the taxation element. People feel that insurance, you can't actually claim for it. Yet, these are things that any business owner who has a team is taught at when you're getting a TIN by URA that indeed any revenue you get, when you're filing for returns, one of the taxable incomes is actually insurance. Just like this example we are seeing of Joeria's shop, who had about 55 million in the year 2021-2022 and had rent of about 8 million, casual laborers of about 2 million, trading license of 2 million, stationary costs of 4 million. All these, the gross income was about 50 million minus the taxable expenses, the business expenses. It came to about 39 million. Then these are the elements of taxation that such that you're paying maybe a net personal tax of about 300,000 plus the taxable ratio about 30%, meaning this person is going to pay about 10.5 million in taxes. Yeah. So of course there are other things like that, but of course we have also done we know marine insurance. He has mentioned his vehicles, businesses, but let's now look at the businesses, the traders, because the chairman of Kacita, he has mentioned that maybe Ugandans, we have not trained them, we have not made awareness about insurance, business insurance, and how it can be of benefit. So this is an example of any business. It could be a supermarket, it could be a shop, it could be a bar, it could be a pharmacy. The most important thing is your premises. How much stock do you have of your business? So this element down here, these are the sections we incorporate in the enterprise package. For instance, fire and allied perils. This is for the buildings, but we know most of the buildings are rented. But even when they are rented, you have your tenants, fixtures and fittings, say about 50 million, the fittings, and then the content in trade about say for 50 million, that's about 500 million. So, and we have seen this before, these buildings, fire happens, and yet you have nowhere to start from. So this is something that you can consider. Oftentimes, by the time the fireman comes in to help reduce the fire hazard, most of your stock has already been, burnt out. So look at the fire element, fire and allied. And when you talk about allied perils, it can also mean the floods that can happen. And we have seen these of recent during some works at, the Nachivubo channel. Most of the businesses around there, kudos to Hamis Chigundu, who is trying to do some developments. But during the course of the time, because we have been in a rainy season, we have seen some floods affecting some traders. So why do you risk to have all that, yet you could take out this? Now, of course, we can go to the other sections like business interruption. We are covering this business worth, say, 15% of the business value. That could be about 75 million. Now, we're talking about the increased cost of working and losses. So we are saying if you had insured your business at about 500 million, you can also say that once your business is down, it will take some time to rebuild that premises, but at least the insurance company can give you some capital to help you set up somewhere else, and you rent elsewhere on top of, and then now you can put up more capital, So those are things that you have to look into anticipation for. Then the third element is the burglary. Burglary, we know that they can steal, they can break in. Yeah. So just like so if it is theft, many times they break in and they can easily steal your items in the shops, and it happens. So what do you do in place of theft? This is a solution. Money insurance. We know that you always carry money around, so we can say maybe you are going to cover 5% or of the business value. It's about 25 million. There's a way we can reduce all of it. I mean, we can increase or decrease, but we know at any one time they can steal the money that is being taken to the bank. Sometimes we have seen these carrier companies, the bullion vans hit, and they steal the monies. And if it was part of your money, if you had no insurance, you would lose out totally. So this is something that you could consider. And there's also goods in transit. Oftentimes you would supply these goods to your customers. So what happens on the way to the shop and also out of the shop to your customers, those goods, you could insure them up to about 10% of the business value, so about 50 million. Yeah. So something like this can happen. We have seen it before. Yeah, these goods, you're still taking them, they're still being delivered, but there are so many risks around that. Oftentimes, these vehicles that we hire to take these goods out, sometimes are rented or they are hired. They are not belonging to you, the business owner. So how can you mitigate that? Having that insurance package within your comprehensive insurance would help. Public liability. We know that someone can sue you, especially for these people who are in pharmaceuticals. You could set out, if your value is about 500 million, look at a target of about 100 million. Such that should anyone come and sue you, as a pharmacy, you have, some mitigation measures. Okay, this is usually someone can sue you. They say that they took your drugs or they fail at your premises. Things can happen like that. Then last but not least is the workers' compensation or group personal accident for your employees. If you had, say, 10 of them and you agree on maybe about 10 million shillings each, that's about 100 million for all of them. And we know those risks can also happen. Case in point, okay, for those who are in supermarket chains, your workers actually can break and fall in the places, and they break. There are accidents in Uganda. We use lots of borders. Name it. There's a lot. So with all that, let's see how much does it cost. So we said, if you had a business of, say, 5 million, we can look at all these classes, about 7 of them. We get an average cost. We charge about 3.5 million. Then plus the taxes come in. There is what we call training levy, insurance training levy, the college, and then there is VAT 18%, and then URA stamp duty 35,000. So total is about 4.2 million. Now, oftentimes you may not want to pull out all this cash flow from your business at one go. You could actually apply for a bank insurance premium financing facility. So we are having here about there are about 10 installments. And there are banks that are giving you right now about 4.5% per annum. Yeah, meaning the interest you're paying them is about, as you can see, it's 4.5% of this 4.2 million is about 193,000 interest. So plus the total amount, you will find that it's about 4.49 million. Meaning if you divide it by 10 installments, it will come to about 449,000. So if you write these checks to the bank can actually pay your premium, and then for you service your loan slowly. And the rate is so low because there are no other taxes involved. So what is this compared to what you would be contributing on insurance, and also the risks that we are covering? Actually, if you look at the total risk element here, is about 900 million. Yeah. So what is 900 million to about a premium of about 4.2 million? So think about it. Abasuubuzi bannange, bakwano bange, bambi mwolonze ku kigambo kya inswa nga chairman wa ebyogedde. So let me conclude. Of course, 3 takeaways is look at insurance as a taxable expense, look at the social capital element, look at the insurance element, and as we conclude with what chairman was saying, let's just conclude with this.
Abantu olulira okukungaana okwali bayambye mu kiseera ekizibu batandika kubeera negative. Musajja mwe bali abantu 1,300 ku byamu. Abasajja abo bafunye sente. Abasajja abo bafunye sente. Gwe sebo bw'olituuka okufumbiza omwana, bw'onootuuka okufiirwa, bw'onoolwala obulwadde obuzibu nga ne mu insurance tewagulayo health facility yonna, package yonna, emikwano egikuli okumpi. Ate si bya leero Nazzikuno twalumanga enguudo na bulungi bwansi. Olwaleero gendako mu byalo bamama baffe gye bali, omuntu afa byalo 6, maama tatemayo wadde ettooka erimu mu nnimiro bamugaana. n'olaba omuwumba omunene nga gwakoleddwa social capital, abantu abamwetolodde wampisa nnungi tebakukkiriza kusima wadde ekikolo kya muwogo mu byalo mu nnimiro yo ng'ate guwafiiriddwa. What does that mean? Nti twetaaga abantu abatwetolodde tubutwale ng'engabo yaffe. Engabo eyo gye nsookamu ne ngenda mu insurance bwemba ebyo byonna mbimaze ate awo ne nkolawo ka budget ka horticulture. I'm an expert mu kulima ennyaanya.
So of course chairman spoke about so many very good things, and let's end with that. Of course the workers can also be covered because he has said you have to build a good portfolio, a good safety net. So look at insurance as that safety net. Look at 4.2 million vis-a-vis 900 million that you're covering for this particular business, and reconsider your circumstances. Also, don't look at taxes as if it's a negative thing. Look at it as a way that everything that you expense, you can actually take it to URA and show them that, you know what, I incurred so much expenses, let me not pay taxes for this. With that, I remain Emmanuel Sensafali, reminding you about the Promise Insurance Show.